This pro Fortnite player in his chat thought I was cheating after I beamed him with some pretty crazy aim.
This guy cheating?
He was so shocked after I killed him that he watched me live to see how good my aim was, and then he said this.
This guy cheating? Chad, I want to see this guy laser some people. Chad, I think this guy gets top 5. I don't know. He seems pretty good. Look at that. 150 damage like that. I need to go to replay, see who that guy is, and I need to talk to him. If anyone's just tuning into the stream, I got lasered by a guy. Carter 2K. You want to see how he killed me, chat? Watch this. I had 200 HP. That guy's crazy, bro. Like, straight up, chat, that guy's crazy.
Holy. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys the controller settings that I used to make a pro think I was cheating. All I ask in return is that you guys click that subscribe button to help me get to 100,000. Now let's check out the settings and I'll explain why they're so good. The controller settings I am using is a 0.09 slide hold time. The only thing my slide hold time needs to do is I need to be able to go from a sprint straight to a crouch. Yeah, I also need to be able to go and slide pretty easily. So if that's too low, you can't go from a sprint straight to a crouch. And if that's too high, you can't smoothly go straight into a slide. So 0.09 is perfect. My camera settings, along with literally every single other good player I've ever seen, are at the default, which is pitch on reset camera access and 0.1 on reset camera time. Then specifically when talking about having good aim, vibrations being off is actually a key part, because with vibrations on, you shooting actually vibrates your controller, and even if you don't feel it, can definitely move your right thumbstick, which in turn throws off your aim. So you'll definitely want to make sure that's off. For these blocked out settings on look sense and ADS, there's so much speculation where people think that these actually affect your settings, but I went in and did some myth busting, and that's just not true at all. I found that neither these settings nor do the mouse and keyboard settings have any sort of effect on your advanced controller settings. What does matter though is the build and edit multipliers, which I keep both at a flat 2.0. Now apparently a lot of people don't know that these are actually multipliers of the look sense. So if I keep these on 2.0 and I change my look sense, it actually still changes my build and edit sense. So to pair with that 2.0 on both of those, I use 43% on both horizontal and vertical, which if you take a look at this chart, basically every single good pro controller player uses 43% on their linear look sense. It's actually pretty crazy how many players use the same thing, but what not a lot of players do is add a little bit of boost on that. The two players that I know for sure add boost here is Byla and Miro, who are arguably two of the best controller players in the world, so it's not like it's a bad thing. And that's just because a flat 43% sometimes isn't quite fast enough to make those shotgun flick shots. So just the slight boost helps you out there, and then the turning boost ramp time is on 0 with instant boost when building off. Now this look sense is gonna be the sensitivity like this sensitivity right here, where I'm not ADS at all, and a lot of people think that's just like for your movement, but when you actually think about it, you take so many shots not ADS, at least specifically with your shotgun and your SMG. So 43% is great because it's not too slow and you can still like move around pretty comfortably. You need to turn around and hit a flick shot, it's pretty quick, but at the same time it's really easy to be consistent with those non-ADS shots. However, what made that pro player think I'm cheating is my ADS sensitivity. So my horizontal ADS is 7%, my vertical ADS is 9%. Then again, I use really slight boost. It's a 1% turning boost on both horizontal and vertical with no turning boost ramp time. That 7% of horizontal is actually pretty slow. However, I found that is the perfect speed to be able to track players. So the horizontal is 7%, but then the vertical is 2% higher because I needed to be a little bit quicker getting to the players' heads for headshots. And then again, the 1% boost is really just because this is not quite fast enough, even though 1% is so minimal. And then going from there, the look to aiming time on these settings is 0 seconds. And then these are linear settings because linear just feels so much better to play on. And I literally always say this, but dead zones are very dependent on your specific controller. This here is a relatively new controller and I'm able to use 1010, which I think is perfect. So if 1010 works for you, then that's great. But if you let go of your thumbsticks and your controller is still moving like this, that means 1010 does not work for you. And from there, you'll have to turn up your dead zones a little bit. But here's the real secret about getting really good aim on these settings. That's not actually even in any of these tabs. I first tried these settings over 2 months ago, and since that point, I have not switched off of them. That right there is exactly how you get really good and consistent with your mechanics. You want to stick with the same settings and build muscle memory instead of constantly changing them and having to relearn your muscle memory like basically every week. And that's the really hard part because your skill doesn't just instantly change as soon as you put on these settings. And it's not necessarily even noticeable right away because it happens super gradually over time. You might not even notice any changes until all of a sudden 2 months later, a pro player thinks you're cheating. But it's really not until that point, like 2 months later, where you realize how good you've gotten just from staying on the same settings. Especially for season 4, these settings work better than ever. They added the blobs, which I think are pretty easy to laser on these settings. They added 200 damage snipers, which I feel like I can hit a good amount of. And they added so many of those like balloon ships around the map. So people are just constantly gliding around, and I feel like it's pretty easy to laser them out of the sky in these settings. You know, sometimes there's just not that much you can do when you don't have map or ammo, really. No, dang it, dude. The fact that I almost won that is insane. Boom, let's go. Basically, though, everything in season 4 has made these settings pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, grapplers just came back and I forgot you could just get shot out like that. The aim just can't be beaten. Bro, I almost had him too. No way. That's enough to say that these settings alone will make you really good. You'll still need lots of practice, but I can bet you that, especially if you're coming from bad settings, I'm pretty confident that you'll instantly see a difference in the amount of shots that you hit. Let's go. It also might help to have a good controller to pair with the settings. The one that I've been using for probably a few weeks at this point is the Cinch Gaming PS4 controller. It has 4 extra buttons down here to help me never have to take my thumbs off the thumbstick, which that alone helps my aim a ton. If you're at all curious, the link to this controller is in my description. I even have a discount code of 5% off if you use code Carter2K at checkout. Slight little plug for the controller. Haha, no way I steal that kill. Let's go. The aim just never fails me. And that's exactly what I needed to finish off this video. Those are the settings that I use to make players think I cheat. And the most important thing, don't forget to subscribe.